Hello everybody, wherever you are in the world today. I want to quickly look today at pop networks a bit further on from what we've done in the previous lessons and quickly look at how to create velocity within a pop network. And now this is something which is fairly basic. It can be done directly in the pop network or it can be done outside of it. I want to show you how to do it within the pop network today. Very quickly, it'll just take a few minutes. So let's open the pop network. As you remember from the previous lesson, we have the sphere, the transform, and then I've got the pop network. Inside the pop network, I've got a basic setup. The main ones being here where I've got the pop object and source. Which goes into the pop solver. Then I've added gravity, a ground plane, and of course the output. So what I would do here as well is here, you know, where we have the little output flag here, make sure this is always on the output. Where as you go down this, it doesn't really matter, like, you know, in the previous ones where it goes step by step. That doesn't happen within a pop network. It actually just uses the whole thing. So make sure that this is on output all the time. It might seem a little kind of counterintuitive at first, but basically just remember to always put this on the output and you'll be good. Now if you remember, we looked at the timeline the previous lesson, go forward and back, etc. down this timeline, and we've got a few particles here which have got gravity on them and they're hitting the ground, and you can see there they're kind of bouncing up in a rather peculiar way. We'll learn to how to deal with that, but first of all let's go back a little bit, and I want to remove this gravity. Let me turn this off by hitting the B key, or I can just use this little flag here to turn it on and off, or I can hit the B key and that does exactly the same thing. All right, now if I hit, look, I'm just getting these things that we've seen before where it just adds many points. All right, the points are being added, but they're going nowhere. They're just sitting around on the surface. But I want these things to move with velocity, not using the gravity at this point. So let's go back to the beginning of the simulation. And this time I want to go into my source here. Okay, the birth section here, it's important. I won't go into that just yet though. I might actually turn this down though to 1000 and the birth rate. Let me see how that looks. Yeah, that's good, I think. And then let's go into the attributes. Now here I've got the option for the velocity, the initial velocity and inherent velocity. Now here I'm saying use inherent velocity. At the moment you can see that this is doing absolutely nothing, and the reason is that it's inherited from outside of this network. I don't have any velocity information here at this point, so nothing is going to happen. But I can create it in here anyway, and what I'm going to do first of all is put this set initial velocity. So that resets any velocity that might be initially coming in, and I'm just going to use it in the source. I've got this variance, I'm going to make that 0 for now so I can explain this a little bit easier. And let's say that I want this now, it's still doing the same thing by the way, oops. Okay, it's still doing the same thing, nothing changed. And I want to maybe put this in 1, okay, and we'll see this move now to the side. The reason is that the velocity here is going in X. Let's move it to -1, and I can see now it's going this way. Cool, it's all kind of easy to understand that, right? Let's change that to 0. I'll do it now in Y, positive, and I'm going up. All right, negative. Oops, let's make that negative. There we go. And now I'm going down. All right, super. And of course the same in Z. I can also make it go in a direction. Let's say I want to make this 1 and 1, and now it should go in the diagonal, which it's doing. Notice that there's no forces on this, so there's no gravity on this, so it's just going to shoot off, and this is going to continue forever and ever, just like this. let's go back a little bit. This time what I want to do is make this faster. I can see the speed. It's pretty slow, but let's make it double the speed. I can change this velocity to 2. And there we go. It's a bit faster. Let's change it to 8. Now it's going to go really fast. There we go. Alright, so you can measure it in that way too. By the way, this is all working on something called vectors, which you may know about. You probably do, but if you don't, please go take a look online and have a little read about vectors and maybe look at some of the maths behind that. Okay, let's go this way this time. So I'm going to go back to 1 again. Remember, this was the diagonal, and I want it to go, rather than going in that direction, I want it to maybe go more in this direction. So I can create this to 2, and now I can see it's going more in that direction. I can also do the same here. I can make that 1 and I can make that 0.5, and it will do the same thing, same direction, but more slowly. Okay. Now what do I want to do? Well, I want this to kind of not go off into the middle of nowhere forever. At this point I've got a ground plane, so it's not exactly space. So what I want to do this time is turn on my gravity again, hit the B key. Alright, and this time I can see now that this is dropping right off. The gravity, of course, is quite strong compared to this velocity. So I want to now, let's make this a bit more, should we? This time I'm going to go 4 maybe, and 2. Let's try this. Alright, a little bit better. Let's make this 8, I think. Alright, alright, quite good. Let me go into real time. Remember, this little button here puts it in real time. So now I'm only going a maximum of 24 frames a second. Okay, that's not bad. Alright, so there's something obvious that's going kind of wrong here, and that is these bounces are just going straight up and down. Very weird why that's happening. And the reason is this. Let me go into my pop object, and I can see here I've got some physical attributes to this. I've got a bounce at 1. If I turn that down, it won't do anything. Let me go there. It just sits on the ground. Alright, let's make that 1 though. The problem is this friction. The friction is set to 1, which means as soon as it hits it, it's just going to bounce up and down. It can't go any other direction because the friction is too strong. What I would do when I'm first starting out is make this 0. And now you should see, there we go, we've got that nice bounce that we would be expecting, of course. What I want to do also, I think, is let's make the velocity go a bit higher here. So let's make it 12. Let's see what that's like. Up and way. Alright, so anyway, that gives you a basic idea of the velocity. Don't forget about this pop object. When it doesn't bounce correctly, turn down your friction. Of course, there's a lot more to this, which I will go in at another time, but that's the basics of what you need to do there. Alright, so hopefully that was useful. Good luck, and you guys have a great day. Alright, bye bye.